Hey guys, I'm Stefan, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to play Burgmuller's Opus 100 number 5 Innocence. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and make sure to check the notifications bell to never miss a new video. Also, I now offer online piano lessons. If you're looking for one, there's going to be information in the description below. So a couple of words about the book. It's one of my favorite technique books and the most popular with my students. Pieces are progressive. They are from grade 1 to grade 5, and these pieces basically contain a lot of technical challenges, but in the form of a beautiful piece with beautiful melodies. So it's not boring finger exercises, it's very interesting and very expressive pieces. If you work through this book, it's not just your technique that's going to improve, but also your expression, your musicality and style. In this video, we're going to learn number 5 Innocence. Now, as you could hear, this piece is very quick and it has a lot of semiquavers. So the biggest challenge is to develop lightness and clarity in those semiquavers to make sure that it doesn't become very blurry and it doesn't become uneven. The second challenge is to keep those chords at bay so they're not too loud and not overpowering the melody. And the third challenge is to phrase the melody and add lots of dynamics to make it nice and interesting. This piece has two sections. The first section ends where you see the first and second ending, and the second section is from there until the end of the piece. I wasn't playing the first and second endings because I wanted to keep this video really short, but if you were to play this piece, you would play the first ending first, then jump back to the beginning, and the second time omit the first ending and go straight to the second ending and carry on to the second section. For the speed, it says moderato, 112 beats, crotchet beats in a minute, so fairly fast but not insanely fast. The key signature is F major, so 1 flat and 3 beats in a bar, 3 crotchet beats. Now, the crotchet beats are really important that we feel them, because once you start playing a lot of notes in a bar, you might lose the sense of where the beat starts, and then the sense of rhythm can fall apart. And I've seen this many times with students before. So let's have a look at the first section. In the first section, the right hand plays the melody all the way through, and the left hand is supporting this with chords or accompanying it. That automatically means that the chords are going to be quieter and the melody is going to be louder. Let's start with the left hand. We start in an F major position, F A C, 1, 2, 3, and then we move to F G D, 1, 2, 3, then moving down E B flat C, 1, 2, 3, and back to the F chord, 1, 2, and augmented C sharp. Then we move our thumb to the D, a D minor chord, 1, 2, 3, C major, 1, 2, 3, G7, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 3, and going back to the beginning. So that was the first ending. Now, as you could see, the change between the chords is not very difficult because most of the time you only have to move 1 or 2 fingers, but practicing the chord change is going to be crucial. You have to do this before starting to add the right hand in, otherwise it's just going to slow it down. You're going to stop at the bars like this. And think about what the next chord is. It's not the way to do it. Another thing to really pay attention to when you play these chords is to make sure that all 3 notes go down together at the same time, as opposed to... Okay, so lift up the hand, accuracy is what you want. Now let's see this beautiful right hand, which is a little bit more challenging. We have 3 kinds of notes in the right hand. We have semiquavers or 16th notes, quavers, 8th notes, and crotchets or quarter notes. And each of these is going to have its full beat. So 4 semiquavers in 1 beat, 2 quavers in 1 beat, and 1 crotchet in 1 beat. A very beneficial thing before you even start playing the notes is to clap out the rhythm or say the rhythm. So you can do it like this. Semiquaver, 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 quaver, crotchet, crotchet. So for each syllable, semiquaver, we're going to play 4 notes. For the quavers, 2, and the crotchet, 1. And once you understand the rhythm, it's going to be much easier to start adding the notes in. We start 4 on the A, descending scale, then number 4 on the F, position change, and number 4 on the D, B flat A, and then the quavers, number 4 on the C, then a rest, lift, and 5 on the G. Rising up, 1 on the F, B flat, A, rest. 5 on the A, lift, B natural, A flat, A natural, E, D, C. Now, two things here that we need to talk about. First is the phrasing. There are slurs above these phrases, and the slurs show you which notes belong to one phrase. And at the end of the slur, you need to lift up the right hand to make sure that we separate the phrases. So, lift, lift, lift. So I was lifting up my hand between those slurs, and all the notes inside the slur are going to be connected very smoothly. The way I would approach these semiquavers is not to think of them as separate individual notes. If I start playing these semiquavers like this, almost like picking out every single note after each other, it doesn't sound very fluid. But you can think of it as throwing a ball into the distance. So you have a downbeat on the first note, and then you kind of run off the scale. So the first one gets a little bit of an accent, and then smoothly sliding off. So and then you can feel that beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So drop, send off, and lift. Drop, 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 lift. Drop. And that's the way to approach these semiquavers. So don't think of them as separate notes. Think of them as something like a ball when you throw away. Start off on the first note and then slide off those semiquavers like a little river flowing down the mountains. The second thing that you need to think about with this right hand is dynamics. So we start quiet, but there's something called natural dynamics. So as we approach the end of these sentences or phrases, we're going to round off the edge. So that means basically going quieter and softening towards the end. So listen out for the difference between these two. This is without rounding off. Or so getting quieter towards the end of that phrase and then starting off, crescendo and rounding off. So big crescendo, then pulling back again. And you can use this for all of these rising and falling sentences. When you put the two hands together, then make sure the left hand is quieter with the chords. Second time. So that was the first section. I hope I managed to talk about all the difficulties. In the second section, the left hand plays a very easy quaver motion, B flat and C, 1 and 2 and 3 and A, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and A. Now 3, 5 on the F A, hold it and bounce on the B flat D. Drop, bounce, drop, hold, bounce, and then a C7 chord, C, B flat, hold, bounce, F, A, and then jumping down to the F, C. The right hand is more interesting again. We have a strange little rhythm here, which is quaver, semiquaver, semiquaver, quaver, semiquaver, semiquaver, crotchet. To make it easier, we can say ta for the quaver and ti for the semiquavers. So ta, ti, ta, ah, ta, ti, ta, ah. And if you get the rhythm again, then it's much easier to put the notes on. So starting number 2 on the C staccato, drop, bounce, drop, hold, bounce, drop, bounce, drop, hold. And then what happens, the music repeats again, but an octave higher. We have that little 8 above. Hold, bounce, bounce, hold. Now the key thing here is the fingering. You start number 2 on the C and then always 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bounce, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you always start number 1 where you finished with the number 3. And then once we go up to the high C, we start the scale coming down. And here it looks like you're going up, but you're actually going down, crossing over number 4 onto the B flat because the octave higher finishes. Bounce, drop, bounce, drop, bounce. And jumping down to the AF. So a big scale in the end. Make sure you look at the notes and the finger numbers. It's really going to help. Now, when we put this together, the left hand is going to be completely legato and smooth, but the right hand is doing the staccatos. So the thing that can happen is that the left hand starts jumping up, but you need to keep it down. So once again, bounce, hold the left hand, hold the left hand, now the chord comes, bounce, and the chord comes in with the E. Now this jump in the end again requires a little bit of practice when you finish up here at the F, and then jumping down. You have to do it very quickly, so make sure you practice it so the hand can remember where it needs to go. So this was my little advice for this piece. You could talk about it for hours and hours. There is so much squeezed into this very short piece. It was in the grade 3 APRSM exam last year, so a lot of my students played it and they all really enjoyed it. So I hope you will too. And if you have any more questions about it, leave your questions in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.